I just hit the lamp. Good evening and welcome to the 5-8, where we discuss each of the week's 5 most fucked up topics for 8 minutes. 5 topics, 8 minutes, 2 hosts. No guests tonight. We're neat tonight. Some singing, a lot of curse words, and as many cocktails as we deem necessary. LB, how's it going up there?
It's good. I'm in my hat. I don't think I've ever worn a hat.
I see that. You look like you're like on an FBI show, like you're like on a TV FBI show, like you're going to go get some evidence or something.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't know. I didn't want to do my hair, Greg Olear.
How are you doing? You're allowed to wear a hat.
I didn't want to pull it back in a ponytail and try to make it look good that way. I just put on the hat.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
That's why hats are for. That's what hats are for. I am well. I am in the middle of a home improvement here in this office, which is now half wood flooring and half the carpet that I still have to uninstall.
It sounds a little better. We don't have this sort of, you don't sound like you're in an echo chamber anymore. So you did something.
Good.
Yeah.
Now I put some blanket down.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're all good.
Good.
We're all good.
All right. Well, I hope that goes well.
I haven't even had my tequila yet. I haven't even.
Oh my gosh. So you're having some tequila. I'm having water.
Mm-hmm. Water's good.
Yeah. Water's
I want to make sure if I have enough glasses of tequila, maybe I can be like the director of the FBI. I don't know. I'm just asking.
I have a battering ram. Go for it. I'll drive down and battering ram up in your house to make sure you're okay. Let's just make sure you're okay. I feel like we're going to end up calling him PP Patel, right? Because now we also got that news today that he's got, from back in the mid-aughts, public urination arrests coming out of bars.
Wow.
Yeah. Surprise. They're drunks. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah. Cash bar. It's not BYOB, it's cash bar. That's what it is. That's what it is.
That's what it is. All right. Yeah. So we are neat tonight. Did we say that already?
We're neat tonight.
Except intro.
I'm on the rocks though with my drink, but yes.
Okay, that's nice.
Me and too, for people who don't know, neat means just that we don't have a guest. So it's just the two of us, making castles in the sky or whatever. And we're going to go through the 5 topics, and we don't even know, there's so many topics we couldn't decide on a 5th topic.
We could decide. It was like, go, we do this, we do that. And it felt like a scramble.
There's too many things going on.
Too many things. Too much stuff. So
I feel like we're forgetting something.
We're forgetting many big things.
I'm sure we are.
Let me get our little thing on here. Okay. Here we go. Get our clock going. Sorry, I have an article I want to talk about today. So I had that pulled up, so I got to go get that again. All right. Here's our timer. Lead us in. Let's just jump in, even though it's just the two of us. Yeah, we don't have a guest we have to get to, but let's get through this here a little bit. War crimes.
We are going to get through it. The it is doing, the it just means the show.
It means the show tonight.
Yeah. That's
all right.
All joking aside, and I know there's a ceasefire today or whatever, because Netanyahu is so good with ceasefires. Israel has basically gone into Lebanon and is occupying a big chunk of southern Lebanon and razing houses, just blowing up hospitals, just blowing shit up, demolishing things, not letting people back to their houses who evacuated. So there's, a good number of people.
Killing journalists.
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But yeah. And, the usual thing. And I don't know. I don't even know what to say anymore. Like it's not fucking justifiable. I'm going to keep talking about this. I'm sorry, but it's not justifiable. The Gaza thing was an atrocity on multiple levels, and I don't want to downplay that, but that did have at least something that started it.
A response. It was a response to something.
And also Gaza, rightly or wrongly, whatever your feelings about it, the international community does not recognize Gaza as its own nation. There's always been this confusion there. Lebanon is a sovereign country. It's a sovereign country. It did not do anything in the war at all. I guess there's Hezbollah there, and that's affiliated with Iran. So I think Netanyahu thinks that if he says you're Hezbollah, he could just blow anybody's home away.
Well, it's not that he thinks that. He's doing that. That's what he's doing.
So there is a woman named Amal Khalil, who's a journalist in Lebanon, okay, covering the war there. Here's what happened. You've heard of a double tap, right? The double tap is when they hit you.
I hate all this language. Yes.
This is a triple tap. Okay? They shot at her car. She's in a car with 3 other journalists. They shot at the car, so they got out of the car, ran to a house. They blew up the fucking house. 2 of the people died. 1 person got out. She's buried under the rubble, alive, making phone calls to her family. And then they're shooting at the people trying to rescue her.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. This is fucking Putin isn't even doing shit this bad in Ukraine. It's that level of bad. It's when you're like, oh, Putin is doing this, hold my beer. That's not good. That's not a good look. Why are we allying ourselves with this? It has nothing to do with religion or anything else. It's just a fucking nuclear power imposing its will on a country. Okay. I want to show you a picture. These are all Hezbollah, LB. Look at these. Okay. Look at these horrible Hezbollahs. They're all Hezbollahs. They're not. They don't look dangerous to me. They look like, you know what these people all have in common?
They're journalists, and they're holding up a peace sign.
They're journalists, and they're holding up a peace sign, and they're all fucking dead because Israel killed them in the war. That's what they have in common. The woman in the white on the bottom left there, her name is Amal Khalil. She's the one that I was describing before. I mean, can you imagine that? They're not even supposed to be there. There's no justification for them to be there. It's insane to me. And then I realized why. It's for security. We have to occupy the southern part of it. Here's the map, okay? This is the part there. The red area is the part that they've invaded. Let's call it what it is, and are occupying. See, we're on the left of the map where it says naval defense area out into the Mediterranean there. Guess what's there? Under the sea. Oil. Wow, it's just a fucking oil grab. It's just a plunder war. This is an old school imperial grab. It's a land grab for resources. That's all it is. And they don't want people to find out about it, which is why they're killing you don't kill journalists unless you don't want people to find out what you're doing.
Right.
You know? And I don't know where this is going. I don't know this is preposterous now. We already had Biden didn't win re-election. Kamala didn't win. All of that, at least in some percentage, because of how badly he botched the Gaza response, which isn't entirely his fault because he's trying to rein in Netanyahu. But this is just crazy. It's just crazy. This is just a bloodthirsty guy in Netanyahu who wants the whole land to himself and wants to displace or kill everyone there, and also raise it so they can, I guess, Kushner can build condominiums or something.
That's right.
The United States of America should not be standing for this. We just shouldn't. We're not standing for it. We're paying for it.
Yeah,
for some reason. I don't know why.
We're enabling it big time. And even saying now admitted, finally, they're saying why we went to war on the State Department's website, literally saying we are in this war to support our ally Israel at Israel's behest. Like whatever the language is, it's literally that clear now, written down in ink. Or
I guess there's so many. Whatever. They can only have so many Lego videos explain it before they have to admit it, right?
Yeah. So that happened. That's on the State Department website. Everyone can take a look at that. Yeah.
I don't know what to say about it.
I don't either. I don't know how much. I do think that this is sort of the wheels have come off the support train. I do. I know that everybody thinks, no, MAGA is it's not that. There was so many independents, so many people did vote for him because they couldn't bring themselves to vote for a woman. There is a lot of that. And it's not just, it's enough to have made the difference. It's enough that would make the difference next time if we have free and fair elections. So yeah, I just there's not much to analyze about it. You know what I'm saying? There's not much punditry to do.
No, there's no punditry. It's
about
but we
this.
have to talk about it because nobody else is fucking talking about it.
They're not talking about it. Like
I went to the Times website and the Washington Post website to find articles about it, and you got to really look.
Yeah.
I mean, we're so.
Well, the journalists who would be writing about it there that are Lebanese are dead.
Well, that's true.
So
that is true.
That's a problem.
I don't know what to say anymore about it.
I don't either.
It's not, I don't know.
But the why you asked, why are we doing this? Well, clearly because of Epstein. Clearly.
Yes. Yep.
Clearly. I'm sorry. That's the part of the punditry that it's so in our face that our president is being blackmailed into this war and using it therefore. Okay, so it's because he's been owned so long by so many foreign intelligence agencies because of his horrific behavior and his tendency to go ahead and want let me have the next sort of Soviet wife come in here, right? Like it's Krasnov is going to Krasnov, as I say. But if you've got a guy it doesn't matter to him that he's owned. It doesn't matter to him that he's told you got to do this. Okay. It's like, okay. So he's doing it. And his sort of joy in his position that he's found himself in this position of being this owned entity doing the bidding of really horrible, horrific people. He doesn't care because he doesn't have any moral anything. But his go-to mode for how to survive that, in addition to probably a lot of Adderall, it has been, let me see how I can make some money in this. What can I get out of this for myself? So the war itself from the United States sort of effort, right? It's not just what's coming out of the administration. The commander in chief doesn't give a fuck about the troops or anything like that, or the strategic. He's pissed about the Strait of Hormuz because that might end up affecting his money in some way. But the whole thing has just been a stock market and a poly market, a gambling grift. It's like, okay, well, we're going to do this. Great. Let's figure out how we can make our money, our daily billion off of that.
The world is a casino. That's just how it is. That's what he said today.
That's how it is, Greg.
Before we move on, I want to circle back to something you were saying before about voting for women and stuff. Yeah. What you hear a lot is, among men. I'm talking about among men. Mm-hmm. Okay. I totally would vote for a woman. I would vote for a woman, but I don't like her though.
Yeah.
Or not Hillary, not Kamala, but I would vote. I want to vote for a woman, but not those two. And if there's a third one coming, I don't know about that AOC or whoever. Right. That's the thing. And that's the thing that can be called out in real time, I find.
Okay.
I remember a certain member of my family just hated Hillary Clinton. And I was finally like, why? Why do you hate Hillary Clinton so much? And he could not answer the question because he did not know. But it was because Fox News poisoned his brain. Yes. So, that's all. I just want to get that out there because that can be called out. And I think men need to call out other men on this shit. So
that would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great. Speaking of calling out things.
Okay.
Our next topic, which we were going to call buckets, and then we were like corruption, as you call it, buckets. But we've got some fresh corruption with Jared and Syria. Let me pull that up. This is the thing. It was like I can't even keep all these things open. Just some news today, and my mom was thinking there was something about UAE as well. I couldn't find that, but I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. The New York Times had an article out today about this Syrian billionaire who needed the United States, to lift sanctions so that he could, it's always construction. It's always these guys, right? We'll get into the other kind of corruption going on. But so this is the fresh hell that we're getting right now in this moment. And there's something every 10 seconds, I feel like. So, he's got 12 billion, this guy, in reconstruction contracts for Syria, post-war in Syria. And so in an attempt to influence American foreign policy, he proposed a Trump-branded golf course, to cut Jared Kushner and Ivanka into a multi-billion-dollar real estate deal for a resort in Albania, because he's the
Albanian guy. Okay, yeah, I heard about this.
Yes. And got someone in Congress, right? I don't have a name. I should probably read further, but I didn't. Deliver a stone engraved with a Trump family crest, right, to Donald, with instructions to kind of get this guy's attention. So that means there's someone in Congress in doing this, because of course all this then happened for this guy. The sanctions got lifted, he got the favors, all this happened. So what that means is that also someone became an unregistered foreign agent, because if you're doing that and you're delivering this and influencing policy, and so that people can get paid, and you're doing it on behalf of a sanctioned person, right, in Syria, you're a foreign agent. Did you register? I don't know. So there's crime. There's layers and layers and layers. Once the corruption reaches this level, there's layers of criminality that come from all of that. So that's just the latest thing. So, I got to thinking, and we've been talking about, I will never forget or get over, really, how the Dems responded to the special counsel investigation findings, what they did with it. And when it felt like it was just too much, it's not going the way we thought it was going to go. Nadler's come up with his, Pelosi empowers him to, we're going to have 5 minute things. And they think this is going to be that Mueller's going to show up with these, Fox News sound bites for them to get, and meanwhile, Robert Mueller's I mean, the obstruction of justice, that was that team. Of course, I'm overseeing everything, but I was really interested in this Russian interference. But all anybody wants to talk about is obstruction of justice, because the pundits on MSNBC at the time, MSN now, right, and all the other sort of media were saying, this is real clear cut. The obstruction of justice clear cut. We can get rid of him with that. But that's not the guy that you got the head of the FBI in here. He's like, yeah, mobsters do obstruction of justice all the time, but we really need to talk about this foreign interference. And that's really the big story here. And there was incredible amounts, and no one bothered to read the Mueller report. Nobody, I'm convinced nobody in Congress, no single fucking Dem read that. I don't believe it. They didn't know what it was. Everyone's just and so then Nancy Pelosi goes, it's too much, get rid of it, move on. We are all going to just have to move on, and we'll find the next thing. And then there was a Zelensky phone call, and then it was that, because that's simpler for the little people out here, meaning you and me, to kind of get it, because that was too complicated. We couldn't understand any of that. If they do that again,
assuming we ever get back into power,
if we do all the work, and this incredible, and pull off what just happened in Hungary, and are able to throw off this corrupt regime, and get in there, and they look at the corruption, and pull a Pelosi and say, it's too much, we're just going to move on, it's behind us, let's move on. Everybody needs to lose their goddamn minds and take to the streets and do it now. We need to raise our voices now in such a way that whoever we elect in, if we're able to get majority back and have some power back, that they know that they're literally, if they don't go after the corruption, full force. So I want to make it easy for these simple-minded people that we continue to elect, who think that we're the ones that can't keep track of anything, when they're just running around having affairs with their interns and getting drunk. I can't with these fucking Dems, right? So whoever is able to get in there, wherever, whatever, and they can't fight amongst each other. They have to have their perfect little corners and be the experts, and they can't band together. They need to know what you got to band together and stay focused. And we're going to make it simple for you. Here are the buckets. Here are the things to prosecute. Number one, Jared Kushner.
Mm-hmm.
All corruption connected to Jared Kushner, treat that as its own thing and go after it with a special committee and go for it and drag this guy through the background checks that we never got to see. Like, make it happen. Focus on Jared Kushner. I don't even care about Steve Witkoff. He can just be the buddy on the side.
Yeah.
Go after Jared Kushner.
And they never went after him. I wrote a thing in 2018 about all the laws he'd broken.
He's his own bucket. Jared is his own bucket.
Oh,
then there's the profiteering.
Mm-hmm.
There's the whole world's a casino. What are you going to do? From Mr. Bankrupt. So, the poly market and the stock market, the using things like war to gaming, the gamification of our national security, right? For putting it on a poker table. I can't. That's rigged to begin with, from the people who all they can talk about is how things are rigged. So all of that corruption, right? Who's been placing these? What is this insider trading thing that's been going on around just even the war? That all goes into the gambling bucket, the insider trading bucket, the market corruption bucket, right? Especially where it intersects with our national security. Put that on the top of the list, because then we've got real traitors. And
there's so many that we've lost track. I mean,
so many. The Department of Justice just today brought back, oh, no, we want to have firing squads be, okay, let's go.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for.
Be careful what you wish for. The next bucket is the Trump family themselves.
Yes.
Okay. That includes Donald. And that includes stuff like, and of course, those idiot kids. And there's going to be obviously some overlap here. There's going to be some overlap here with the insider trading. But, every way that there's been a scheme, including I'm going to make myself the builder. Donald makes himself the builder. Trump. I'm the builder I'm the contractor on the East Wing and all these monuments and all that. So he gets a cut.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's like King Herod, he's the builder.
That's right.
King Herod killed his ex-wife, they have a lot in common.
And then there's the bucket of elected officials.
Mm-hmm.
And so public corruption. And then there's the bucket of his cabinet.
Oh my God.
Okay. That's 5 buckets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's a ship of fools. It's bigger than a bucket.
Tackle it like that.
Yeah.
Let them share information. Okay. And in that cabinet, underneath there's a subset, is the DOJ. So the former DOJ appointees, whoever he appointed. Maybe there's a Supreme Court justice from the first term. We'll see.
Maybe there's 3,
Maybe there's 3.
I don't
Jared
know.
number 1, stock market number 2, because they're doing that with this war. That's our national security.
Hey, it's Friday and the market's closed, so shit's going to get wild.
Then go after him and his family. Those corrupt sons, Melania and her stupid movie, the whole thing.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That's it. That's my 2 cents.
Okay. Just to add a couple of things. There's so much. Okay. Just off the top of my head.
You got to keep
First of all, I ranted about it because the IRS thing drives me crazy. They're going to write him a check. Bessent is going to okay this settlement, and they're going to write Donald a check from our money and give it to this motherfucker because somebody released his taxes, which he had promised to do and didn't do. It makes no sense. And they're already paving the way because Mike Flynn got his 1.25. Carter Page, blast from the past, got his 1.25. they resurrected the Geneva guy, and they've sicked him now on people who are investigating the Russia stuff. I honestly, I thought he had died like 3 years ago, and maybe he did. I don't know. Maybe Peter Thiel resurrected him. Maybe he's AI. Does he have 6 fingers? I'm not sure. There's all this crazy shit happening. We forgot, the ballroom is disgusting. All of the corruption with that.
Oh, yeah.
We got a plane from Qatar. He took all the money out of Venezuela and put it in some bank account overseas that, God, I don't know where that is. I don't know what that's. There's all this crypto shit. There's the meme coin shit. Remember, he had all these tech crypto, whatever the hell they are, at a dinner at the White House where they all gave him money to do whatever. Like, there's so much corruption. The tariffs, we don't know. We don't even know where that money went, if it's going. Is it going back to the corporations? Is it going to us? Is it going to, I think ultimately it'll maybe find its way back to the people who actually paid it, but who knows?
Well, this is the Trump and family bucket, right? So using his office of the presidency to even come up with executive orders or whatever that are for personal enrichment. That, where was that happening? Where were policies coming, created or pushed for the hidden agenda of personal enrichment? So using the office of the presidency, that includes the tariffs. That includes all that.
And everybody that covered up the Epstein thing so far. That means Bondi. That means Mr. Patel. That means, whoever, I don't know, Todd Blanche. We'll get to all these people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, we got a friend here.
Inside joke.
Okay.
Inside joke.
Inside joke. All right.
Okay. Well,
those are the buckets.
Okay, those are the buckets. And
make it simple. Keep it simple for them.
We'll keep it simple. But the main takeaway from this segment, as you said, is we must hold them to account, meaning the Dems. They can't go in there and be like, we have to turn the page. And Chuck Schumer, I went to a party with Roy Cohn with Donald Trump in 1975, so everything's cool. None of that shit. Anybody that doesn't play ball with this, that doesn't actively act to undo the corruption as the number one thing they're running on, because everything else is bullshit noise. Nothing is going to happen anywhere for anything good until the corruption goes away. It's like pouring coffee into a mug with a hole in it, which happened to me at work the other day. All of a sudden I look down, there's just a pile of coffee on my table, on my desk. It was very,
Because you had a hole in your mug?
Yeah, not my mug. It was like a cup,
In your cup?
Like a paper cup, yeah.
Yeah.
I know. They don't make this shit like they used to, which is another problem.
It's that straight of Harmoots.
I don't know. Right. All I can say, what I can say in 3 words, all I can say is, what the... Iranians blockaded all the ship routes through Hormuz, but all the anchors say the war is over on Fox News. J.D. Vance is lecturing the Pope on what is holy. Melania still insists she met Trump through Paulo Zampoli. And Koch Patel is suing because he drank too much Stoli. Byron Nome is somehow both a bimbo and a cuck. And every week it's something worse. I mean, like, what the fuck? What the fuck? The dead raccoon whose penis RFK cut off had rabies. According to the Epstein files, Donald Trump ate babies. And we'll read even weirder shit when they drop the next tranche. There's bodies buried somewhere on the grounds of Zorro Ranch. Are we sure that Ghislaine did not get busy with Todd Blanche? And if you want a quiet week, well, you're shit out of luck. And has the gummy kicked in? Because really, what the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, yeah.
It's just...
Excellent job, Chunk, as always.
There's an absurdity to all of that.
But we're just reflecting the absurdity that we're living through.
Exactly. It was a good expression.
I felt a little bad kink-shaming Byron Nome there, but I needed the rhyme. So, sorry.
Yeah,
buddy.
well,
Sorry. You're married to Satan. So,
sorry.
Do you know that song? Do you know that song?
Puppies. The what?
Do you know that song?
I don't know that song.
Okay. It's Cool for Cats by Squeeze. So it's a little obscure.
But
not so obscure that they don't have the karaoke version on YouTube that I could use. So,
okay, good.
All
right. No, well done. Yay, Chunk. Yay, Chunk.
Good job, Chunk. Okay.
Good job, Chunk. Okay. Oh, this next topic. it's huge. I'm not going to set the timer because we don't know.
No. We're good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, guys, it's time to talk about the satanic force. I don't know what else to call it. As a group, we've done a lot of talking about Elon Musk, years of talking about that guy individually. Peter Thiel, years of all of that. We haven't gotten to Mark Andreessen too much. I did Zuckerberg for years. We just tend to focus on, maybe we lump them together as this sort of a category of our, our technocrats, but we tend to kind of go in and focus on them individually. And I guess we've done stuff where we've talked about this whole thing, but it's really now this handful of men that are highly disturbed and that we have rewarded as a society with this just astronomical wealth, are a serious threat to life itself, And so I do think we now have to contend with them as a group. And the New Republic has a great article out, talking about when did that turn evil, right? Like how did this happen? How did this sort of out of this, because most of it out of Silicon Valley, so out of this blue state, is the most progressive sort of region in the blue state of California, Northern California. How did these guys, who were sort of this promise of the future and were going to liberate us with technology and everything was going to be green and great for the environment and all this, how did they become what this sort of force now that we're up against, that humanity is up against? Because we've got someone like, and Palantir, this guy that's the head, I can never remember.
Alex Karp.
He's a lunatic. He's a CEO of Palantir. What was his salary last year? $6.5 billion a year is his salary. Something.
Buy a comb, Alex. Buy a comb, buddy. It's time. Get one at the CVS.
Clearly, publicly high as a kite a lot of the times, or is insane. And no one's
or both. Could be both.
No one's calling out any of that bad behavior. It's just sort of like this group of multi-billionaires who become big techno oligarchs that have been allowed to just be extremists. I mean, what was it? There was that Sam
Altman.
No. Sam Bankman-Fried. That guy ended up with some accountability, because a lot of what he was doing was it wasn't just fraud in the sense of he's defrauding people, but he was just a made up. It was like that Elizabeth Holmes. You're just making shit up and no one can tell. Right. Because you're putting your weirdness front and center, and that just gets this excuse. It must be a genius, right? Because we don't understand it because it's so strange. So why is this a threat? What has happened to the oligarchs that we birthed out of what we'll call Silicon Valley, even if one or two came from another place? But certainly the VC funding there, the culture there, the technology, that being our in the realm of data and all of that, from that particular hub. What happened? Why are we up against this now? So I'll leave that article for sort of everybody to read. I'll pull up a little bit of it, but the deal is, and especially with AI, they're really in this sort of discussion there. Peter Thiel, as a lot of our audience knows, Peter Thiel, who's the head of Palantir, who was Elon Musk's partner way back in the day. They were what we sometimes refer to as the PayPal Mafia, because they had the PayPal together. Who has all of these government contracts. They've all figured out how to have massive government contracts, because they realize that the real wealth is not coming from having advertisers on your Facebook, right? On your whatever your social media tool is. It's having your hands in the treasury. That's where the real money is. It's not going to come. And even some of these people, like Mark Andreessen is included in this article, are VCs themselves. And he's the biggest VC out there for the tech industry. Still is going to invest in those companies like Palantir that can get their hands into, whether it's the military industrial complex they've got their hands into, what Palantir is now doing is the surveillance state that it is, whether it's now we're going to get into food, we're going to control food supply.
Yeah,
there's
USDA.
literally this whole reasoning that Doge happened and that idiot went in there with his all the boys of Peter Thiel to destroy our institution, our agencies, right?
Catamites, yep.
Right, and get rid of things like USAID, which we now, even today, also there's been an accounting of how many children have died since that program was eliminated. It's over 500 million, sorry, 536 million children.
Something like that, yeah. Which we knew would happen. Everybody in USA knew this would happen.
There would be mass child death. Yeah. Are dead as a direct result of Elon Musk and Doge eliminating USAID. This is sort of a world, it's certainly the nation that those technocrats wanted to create, of getting rid of all the agencies, and they'll just come in and run it, and they'll determine where all the resources do or don't go from the Treasury, not Congress, them, right? And they're manifesting that reality. And their personal wealth is astronomically growing. The big thing that's happened in their realm, in what they produced, that has it sort of crossing this line for me over, we can no longer just kind of look at them as individuals out now. We really have to understand them as a force, a group force that is threatening our liberty, threatening our economy for us, right? Mm-hmm. Threatening democracy, clearly, because they've come out and said that democracy is not compatible anymore with what they've all these men, these multi billionaires who control all this tech and these tech companies that have their hands in our treasury because they have these government contracts and they're controlling. They're the number one lobbying force. They're outpacing big pharma now in DC on K Street. The thing that's happened here that's crossed the line and made them to where we're putting them all in a group is AI, is the development of AI.
Yeah.
And the goal that they have for AI, what they see, where they see what that's going to do, it's going to replace the workforce. It's going to do all of these things, has them giving themselves the internal justification of this thing that we're creating, which you can't stop it from being created. It's happening, and we're there to really just steer it because we're the brains who figure out, and we're going to therefore we need to be in a position to determine the allocation and future of all resources on the planet for all mankind and all life on the planet, based on how AI needs to be supported. And anybody, and they on the record saying this, Peter Thiel and others, any individual or any nation, any entity that comes up and says about AI that is not what needs to happen, that somehow there's pushback, any kind of pushback about us steering our own ship and rolling it wherever we want to roll it and doing whatever we need to do with it. If we need data centers and it makes all the water toxic and it kills off it kills off farmland, or it kills off individuals, or it kills off wildlife, there's no pushback on that. That's what needs to happen, because right. AI has to happen. This is God now. Any pushback, they're literally calling the pushback force to this Satan.
Yes.
So they're invoking this biblical references and a biblical framework and a religious framework for their creation.
Mm-hmm.
without having, and here's where you can, in 2 seconds, understand how stupid these motherfuckers are. These are the dumbest rich people ever. They are dumber than the monarchs that you study, Greg, from way back in the day that were screwing their brothers and sisters so much that you ended up with these weird-headed people, right, in charge of, a monarchy and a whole people's resources and wealth and treasure. This is how dumb they are. They're using biblical scripture and things to justify what they're doing and label people, and they're not grasping the first fucking commandment.
Yeah,
they're not grasping it.
What's the first commandment?
Yeah, there shall be no other gods before me.
Okay.
They've created. Man cannot create a god.
No. Per the Bible, which they're citing. So
per the Bible.
Yeah.
It's by its nature. It's not man-made. It can't be anything that man can make.
It's just.
And I don't care about the argument. Well, it's AI is now making AI, so it has become this god, right? It didn't. It didn't naturally happen.
No. If AI is the god, I am not worshiping that god. Sorry, not happening. That it's such a self-aggrandizing.
They're idolaters. They are idolaters. They are idolaters. And the New Republic article is interesting because it doesn't get into that, but it does talk about how this all comes down to mammon, right? This is about money.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get your thoughts on that, and then I want to talk about the money because there is a lot we can do.
Yeah. I mean, they're so self-important. They think that this is so wonderful. This shit can go away. No one cares about Elon Musk. No one cares about Alex Karp. Certainly no one cares about Peter Thiel and what he thinks about the Antichrist. I don't fucking care. I don't care. These are boring people. They're boring people at the end of the day. And they're smart, but they're dull, and they use their smarts to game the system, and that's all they are. Period. Full stop, in my opinion.
Well, I think they're dumb. But yes, this is where we're a little bit different. I don't measure intelligence in the same way.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. They are dumb. What am I saying? Elon Musk is dumb. Anyway, the point is that they're self-aggrandizing, and they don't understand. And by they, I mean this whole movement, if you will. I'm reading Arthur Snell's new book now, which is called Elemental, which is very good. So we'll have him on at some point to talk about this. But like, he's talking about this in a part in the book about the resources and immigration and how it's all about how because of the climate changing, immigration is going to happen. And it's like, you know how they're all on about like, we have to have more babies. We need to have more babies. We need to increase the domestic infant
supply. Yeah.
I mean, the reason why they're saying that is because the way the growth rate in Western countries is not enough to sustain the level of economic, whatever the hell it is, that we've enjoyed heretofore. Capitalism depends on this expansion, and that ain't happening anymore. People are they're not having as many kids. You know, you look at a place
expensive.
Right. Well, but you look at a place like Russia where the population rate is going down, and that was before the war.
Right.
You know, they had AIDS was way worse in Russia than anywhere else on earth, you know, all this stuff, or in Europe anyway. And, you know, that in order to have the economy thrive, we need people. We need people to do the jobs. And at the same time that they're saying we need to have more babies, they're saying immigrants bad. We need to kill all the immigrants. Well, that's where the labor force is, man. So if you're not letting immigrants into the country to do the jobs that you literally don't have enough people to do, the entire system's going to shut down. So it's based on this weird, very white supremacist Nazi-esque.
Well, I was going to say, this is where we were struggled with. What do we call this? Is it technocracy? Is it techno-fascist? Is it because there is a fascistic
and eugenicist
basis to all of this? There is these men are at least two of them, possibly more. But two of them are very outspoken about their belief of a superior race, and so there is a ethnic cleansing that needs to happen globally, right? To sort of perfect society. Here's the thing. These morons have been up to this point in time have been creating in their mind, their philosophies or their whatever it is like, okay, let's do a social media site, we'll do a thing. And even before the world social media, they've been creating these products, these technology products, right? That they've been putting out into the world. And for the last 20 years, the society has been rewarding them. So there's been this, if you think of money as social energy, stored social energy, right? Think of it that way. The physics of this has been that we're going to put this thing out, and what's coming back is more energy to put more of our things out. It's a reward system, right? It gained momentum. That for these men was in their world, in their bubble of their lack of it hasn't been any learning. It's just been this, right? Yeah. There hasn't been any self-reflection. There's no evidence of any of that, of understanding people or population or anything. They just understand their tech and how it got created and how it got pushed out. Even if like people like Elon just stole the tech, right, to start with. It wasn't even something that came out of his mind. He just appropriated it one way or another. It was handed to him and then exploited it because he found a way to hook into government contracts. And so that stored as social energy got released and created this cycle, right, of this gaining wealth. In that sort of cycle, right, that they got into, of wow, it's working and we're being rewarded more, came this, what appears to be this belief set of we're in the right because our wealth is growing. That's mammon in and of itself, right? That's sort of measuring your and growing your own deification of yourself and your product. Because of a wealth component, strictly because of a wealth component. You can't go into looking at things and saying this has been to the benefit of mankind. There's too many arguments of how deleterious a lot of these products have been, especially the social media products. What's happened to our news, and now these data centers and what they're demanding from the earth, or developing the lithium batteries, what that's actually costing to mine our planet and our environment to have this sort of clean energy that's going to catch on fire and burn down and fuck shit up anyway.
Arthur writes about that in this book.
Yeah, the cost of just mining those materials to the environment outweighs any benefit you're going to get from using it, even if it doesn't burn, right? So but that's not, those aren't factors. The factors are, our worldview is being confirmed. And so whatever they decided to add into their worldview as their wealth is skyrocketing, there's a collapse. They've collapsed that to mean we're in this sort of lane of being in this sort of above the rest of mankind in our understanding of what truth is and what the future should be. Because they've been allowed to amass so much wealth, because we have a system in this country where the politicians are just there going mwah, 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 to them like ATMs, right? Like babies on the breast, on the teat of money, and that then any and all policy and governance is getting funneled, sucked up onto or becoming dependent upon their philosophy and their worldview. And therefore they are able to manifest it and not even realize that they're making this. It doesn't have to go this way.
Right.
This isn't the way that the world is going, and they're just steering the ship.
Yeah.
Right. They've bombed the Strait of Hormuz, and the ships are all going like they're in control of the whole goddamn thing, and the manifest destiny of it for them. They're not even realizing that's the case, or perhaps they are, And they're just that big of nihilists, right? It doesn't matter as long as their wealth continues to grow.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't matter as long as
That's the prime objective.
Their accumulation of the wealth. So we are now in a position where we're going to take Albany as an example. Okay. So we're New Yorkers, Albany's our capital, and out of Albany is starting to come coming down the pike of Albany are coming these sort of referendums and laws about we as Albany, as the capital, will be able to put data centers wherever we decide to put data centers. There's nothing any local municipality can do about it. No town, no township, no village, no city, no county, right? Albany's going to determine what's best for the future of energy, right? And what's best for the future of job growth for the state of New York. And if it's this worldview and to push down onto the people of New York, the products of these technocrats, then you guys just have to take it, even if it kills your farmland, even if it poisons your water, even if it wipes out the workforce under the guise of somehow bringing jobs, whatever we might, because we are in this sort of energy sector. Maybe we need to upgrade our grid. Boom, you're all getting lithium battery plants all over the place. This is now where it's going, is that we now have state capitals, right? Because of the politicians there, on a state level, forcing these products onto the people of the states because of the mass lobbying efforts that are going on. So that gives us the blueprint by and through which we can stop this and push back. We need to push back in the township level, on the village level, on the city level, on the county level, and at the state level in Albany itself, right? This is where the activism needs to go. And we're going to do it township by township. You can vote bans in. You can do these things that need to happen, and it needs to happen quickly, and send the message to Albany and to Chuck Schumer, who's behind a lot of this in the state of New York, that we don't accept this worldview. It's not a fait accompli that we have to have AI running everything, right? It's not that we don't have to put their data centers in all of our bodies of water, on and around all of our bodies of water, simply because they need our water for their fantasy. Yeah. This doesn't have to happen this way. This is why they're trying to destroy democracy. Right? So it's not this democracy is a satanic force, as Peter Thiel, and therefore I'm the Antichrist. It's not his weird biblical shit that they're bringing up and going around the world and giving lectures on and trying to convince everybody while they're throwing tens of billions of dollars at little towns and and politicians to buy and court their way into, even some of it through front companies that if you do a little digging, you'll find out that, this power company that's trying to come in here is actually a Tesla company, right? So, it's time to start positioning them that way in society and in our minds, so that we can mobilize our actions and our resistance to this, right, in such a way that we don't just hand over control. We've been handing everything over to these guys. If we didn't willfully hand over all of our thoughts and dreams and data into these social media applications to begin with, we wouldn't have the surveillance state that we have now.
Yeah, but we also wouldn't have Facebook. We wouldn't be able to pay our bills online.
We wouldn't have our cat memes.
It's always a balance between
I understand that.
and
I'm
privacy
saying,
and whatever.
There's the tools and tricks, the sort of wizardry, right? Of the morons. They have a wizardry to
Wizardry
them.
of the morons.
The Wizardry of the Morons is the next book, the article title. The Wizardry of the Morons, to get us to hand over to them their lording over us the power to do that. We've got to position them differently so that we can mobilize ourselves in such a way to stop doing that.
Yep.
And maybe in the process, take back some of that stored social energy. It doesn't belong with 6 dudes.
No. Who don't know anything about women at all and don't listen to them, don't deal with them, don't know. It's just so dumb.
Anyway, that's just my soapbox tonight. I felt like it was important to
there's a lot going on. A lot of people don't understand it. And it is presented by their side as well. We can't stop progress.
Can't stop it. It's happening. Yeah.
We got to channel Ned Ludd and just break all this shit down. So Palantir had this manifesto that they released. Palantir,
Alex Karp.
Alex Karp, and then Peter Thiel is also a co-founder. And I'm going to keep harping on this, but it's named after the seeing eye in Lord of the Rings by people who clearly are Sauron and do not realize it. And it's just, this is to your point about how fucking dumb they are.
Yes.
But I was reading through the manifesto, but then we found somebody made an AI video using their powers against them. And this is the guy. Here's what's funny. Okay, this is how good AI is. You want to know how good AI is? On Twitter, or X, I suppose, it has this like the headlines of the things, and it says, AI video targeting Peter Thiel goes viral. It's not Peter Thiel. It's Alex Karp in the video. Peter Thiel isn't in the video at all. Like the AI bot of Grok didn't know, like there's only 5 of these guys, and Elon Musk's computer didn't know which one of the 5 it was. That's how great these
because it was Palantir, and so does
Palantir.
Peter Thiel.
Yeah. Anyway, they wrote this manifesto, and it's such masturbatory, navel gazing drivel.
It's literally we need to be the government, because you guys can't. It's everything I just talked about.
It is everything you just talked about. Yeah. But I do not know who made this video. And I apologize to whoever it is, but I don't know.
Someone put it up on Twitter. Yeah. But this is the mockery of
what the Palantir thing is. And I think
while also getting out the articulation of their worldview.
This is pretty much accurate, I think.
This is it.
Here we go.
Losers, stop pretending it's a democracy. We run things. Give up the illusion, and in exchange, we will bring you order and efficiency. Yes, we'll own you. But do you really want to be free? Trust us. We know what to do. While Silicon Valley was feeding you dope and free email, we built the architecture of empire. Welcome to our world, motherfuckers. We aren't here to protect your privacy. We are here to enforce supremacy. We are the ledger now. Every tax return, every Medicaid file, every license plate, every crossing. Your president signed it into being with a pen in March. You kept scrolling. Your politicians are empty vessels. Your civil liberties are a liability. We are done pretending all cultures are equal. We know who the elites are, we know what we are building, and we demand that you applaud the billionaires taking the reins where your fragile democracies have failed. Welcome to the technological republic. You can stop scrolling now. We already have everything we need. Try to unplug us. We dare you. Now get the fuck out of here, you peasant.
Yeah.
So that basically is the Palantir thing in a nutshell. I feel like the Alex Karp in that AI video is way more elegant and sophisticated.
Oh my God, he's
Karp.
So much more in control of himself.
Yeah. So we know it's AI because he's too cool. That's what it is. But I want to bring up one more point before we put this topic to bed. Okay.
Please.
Jeffrey Epstein, through John Brockman, this big literary agent of scientists and brainiacs, established these it was called the Edge Foundation. They had all these dinners, all these gatherings of all these brainiacs. And a lot of this shit, Thiel and Andreessen and it all came out of that thing. So they think they're this, that, and the other, but they're really also all involved with the Epstein files intimately.
Yeah.
And, this is just part of that. So I think we have to also make that connection because Peter Thiel's in those files a lot.
Oh, they had a lot of communication.
The best,
a lot of communication.
The funniest part of the Epstein files. I mean, there's so many funny parts. It's hard to, I'm joking, of course. There's no funny parts except for this part when Elon Musk was like, "Hey, when can I come to the island for the party?" And they're like, "Oh, we're not doing that anymore, man. Yeah, we're trying to scale that down." There's like,
Epstein,
even Ghislaine and Jeffrey didn't want to.
Epstein forwarding that to Ghislaine saying, "Take care of this," because he didn't want him around, right?
Because he's that much of a loser.
Yeah,
like all of the money, literally all the money in the world. We don't care. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
These are the world's worst human beings. And there's no debate about that. It's just awful. And, look, if we go by history and how societies have reacted to this kind of, not just the concentration of wealth, but the folks with the concentration of wealth turning around and saying, and now you belong to us and we're going to do whatever we want to you and with all of your own all of the resources which you will never have because they only belong to us. Societies tend to rise up against that. It's not
good. In the late 18th century, the King of France was financing a war on credit and had the choice. He could either tax the rich people and the clergy or default on the debt. And he defaulted on the debt, and he wound up with his head in a bucket. Speaking of buckets, bolting to bucket. And then in Russia, the Romanovs, fucked that up. They took too much. There was too much wealth, and too stupid. Honestly, he thought he could run the government and run the army, and he's a fucking moron. And I don't even. They wiped out the Romanovs. All of them. The children. Yeah. They made sure that there were no more Romanovs to come back and bite them in the ass. Yeah. And it was brutal and horrifying. But the wealthy, royal families of Europe got the message when that happened. Yeah. So to your point, this is what happens historically. I'm just reporting on stuff that happens historically.
Yeah. It's a rough ride until you get to a resolution one way or another. Mm-hmm. So we're in sort of a rough moment for sure. As a people,
we are.
I just really, it's important, I believe, to lump them together. Where'd you go?
Sorry, I was pretending I was Trump there.
Oh!
I was segueing into the next topic.
You were saying. I mean, he was like this. He was like,
He looked like he was dead.
And then he just kept falling back asleep. Because it's like, honestly, the most relatable he's ever been. It's like, I feel you, dude. I feel you, dude. That's like me trying to watch Tehran at 11 o'clock at night.
That's so good. So good.
It is good. It is a good show. All right. Anything else to say about these absolute horrible human beings?
No, I have nothing else to say. I want them to go away so bad. I read this thread today.
I want them to go away.
Tesla's going to implode, apparently, is what somebody was saying because of this. The self-driving car thing is not working, and Elon's got to keep juggling and bullshitting, and I don't know. We'll see. Straits of Hormuz, Iran gonna knock this AI shit on its ass. I don't know.
I don't know. All right, let's go back to our clock. Here we go. Well, blackout. Speaking of snoozorama, snuffleupagus, snoozleupicus.
Snoozleupicus. He fell asleep during his own press conference.
I know.
Remember he fell asleep when he was in the courtroom and everything. I get that. That's like somebody's talking and you're bored and you're not really, but he's the one talking. My roommate in college could fall asleep like immediately. It was a great talent that he had. And he once was sitting on a couch watching TV, eating a bowl of cereal. And he picked up the bowl of cereal and put it in his mouth and fell asleep.
Oh.
Like.
He had narcolepsy.
I know. He just could do this thing. It was weird. But Trump, it reminded me of that. It's like, what are you doing, man? And
it's like Greg's like he could walk down the street, he could be talking to you, and then he would just fall down the street and fall. It's like, that's a narcolepsy. Nah, he could just do it.
No, he didn't have narcolepsy. It was just that's the most extreme kind of example of his enviable ability to fall asleep, and then you could not wake him up.
That's okay.
God bless him. I love him.
God bless him. I hope he's okay.
He's fine. He lives in Costa Rica. We can go to Costa Rica if we need to go to Costa Rica.
Nice. Yeah, all right. So, yeah. I mean, we don't even have to get into the lack of coverage of if Biden had done that.
Oh my God.
I can't
Jake Tapper can fuck right off forever.
I can't even with it. Mm-hmm. It's so bad. But we can go through some of the other. I mean, talk about Tesla falling apart, which I don't know. We'll see. I mean, these things seem to keep going on forever, no matter how decrepit they are. But Kash Patel having to be
allegedly, per the Atlantic, they only talked to 25 sources, though, and Kash Patel insists that it's all true. Again, not to bring everything back to The Simpsons, but there's a great Simpsons episode, where they're at a party at Ned Flanders' house, and Homer's drinking too much, and Marge says, "Homer, do you remember last year when you got drunk and threw up in the Flanders' dryer?" And he goes, "No." And that's where we're at. Like, just because you deny that it ever happened and you can't remember it happening doesn't mean it didn't happen. That's the thing.
I really think that's actually whoever he's suing, that should be like, but you were blacked out, so you don't know. You were blacked out. That's the point of the whole thing.
I read the complaint. I read the lawsuit. Okay.
Oh, you
this
did?
is the funniest part of. I did because I was like, who? First of all, what lawyer would take this asshole on? Whatever. So he says, well, he says, this was a narrative that's the Democrats are trying to throw out there about the being drunk, and it's a fake news and it's a narrative. It even gels with something that Frank Figliuzzi said in a pending lawsuit about the same thing. That shows, this is what he wrote, I'm paraphrasing, that shows that this is just a deep state Democrat plot to paint me out as an alcoholic or drunk. And I'm reading this and I'm like, or it's all the sources saying the same thing, dude. Yeah. Like, they threw that case out with Frank, by the way. You know that, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And, when he said what he said, which I'm not going to repeat because I don't want to get, he said it because he had ostensibly, I think, I have not talked to him, because he heard things about what Patel was doing and his behavior. That's why he didn't just make it up out of whole cloth.
Of course. Okay. So hang on. There's reports and whatever that there's allegedly a lot of drugs and a lot of drinking, and we've got a lot of drugs.
Yep.
We should play a game.
Okay.
Fifth.
No.
What? Name that drug.
Okay.
I don't know how Susie Wiles, I get that she's possibly foreign owned. I understand all of the blah, blah, blah. And
apparently she worked for BB. I read today.
She did. No, she did. Okay. Yeah. So that's when people are implying that, whatever. We don't know. Whatever. But can you imagine? What is it? Klonopin? What must she be on to be able to? She's seemingly a functional person, right? She knows how to do her job. And her job appears to be making sure that Donald hires or appoints the worst person for the job that could possibly be found, because it's all about tearing down the system and destroying the administrative state. As Steve Bannon used to say, I get it. But how do you show up? Can you imagine Showing up for work every day as Susie Wiles? What? Name that drug. Is it Xanax? It can't be Xanax.
I don't
What is it?
know. This is Pat.
Does anybody know drugs? Who knows drugs?
I don't
Let's
know
look.
about drugs.
No, we don't. We're terrible. She's on. Oh no. Ew. I hit the wrong thing, Foggy. Sorry. Somebody has it here. She's on trazodone. There.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I don't know anything about drugs. I will say there was a huge report that came out about all the drug abuse in the first Trump term.
Yes, because
I wrote a piece about it called Comfortably Dumb, which I encourage everybody to go to Prevail. One of my better titles. But all it was like, here's the report. And it was not, it wasn't it was like a government report about all this drug abuse.
What did Ivanka say? What was the reporting that Ivanka, what she said Melania was on? Was it heroin?
I'm not going to say because I don't know. I
don't want to allege.
I don't want to allege. I think Melania.
No, I know there was an actual.
Sober as a judge. Sober as a judge, I say.
No, there was an actual. I'm just asking about the journalism. There was journalism that Ivanka had a nickname for her.
Yeah, I think it was that. I think it was Smack. Yes.
Or the junkie or something.
Something. She called her the junkie. Yeah, I believe that's true.
I don't know. Let's see. People know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Benzos. What does that mean? What are benzos?
Benzodrine, like downers.
Oh, it's a downer. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
What about just like, I wish they would why can't they just like smoke a little pot? Whatever happened to that? Why? What is up with these people? Why do they have to get blackout drunk?
There was a comedian that I saw whose name I can't remember. He's very, very funny. And he had a whole thing about Kosh Patel and the drinking and all this. And he was like, why are you getting drunk? He says, and I'm quoting now, why don't you just like smoke pot with your fake girlfriend or smoke weed with your fake girlfriend? Or as I call it, honey pot.
Oh, honey pot. I got it.
Yeah.
Took me a second.
Yeah, me too. It took me a second too. And I was like, this guy.
Yeah, the honey pot. Who is she again? She's a country singer.
Who are any of these people?
Why are they all country singers? What's happening? What? Because Lara, she has to be.
Country?
They all have to be. Yes.
I feel like it gives country a bad name. There's very good country music.
There's quite a lot of country music that what would be classified as country music and bluegrass that I love because people actually play instruments, and I love it when people know how to play instruments and can make good have great live music. No, but I mean, it's, I don't know. The shtick.
She won't back down. It's true.
Anyway.
I don't know. They all want to be fucking singers and rock stars and all this. Tim Pool wants to be a rock star.
People that want to be artists.
I don't know.
It's all about that grievance. Just like it was all about Hitler being a failed baseball player and painter, whatever it was.
Can we go back to the Kosh Patel, like the document?
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
They also assert in this document, he has never drank to excess at the Poodle Club or anywhere else. Okay. What is excess then to you? What is excess? What does that mean? If you can't remember the next day shit you did, is that excess? As
the FBI director, that might be a problem.
Is death excess?
Yeah, he's never drunk himself to death. He's still alive.
I don't know. I feel a little bit hypocritical because I'm drinking tequila while we're talking about this, but
I'm not, and so I don't.
You're not, and
we're not the FBI director.
I feel like let's do the scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark. If I can outdrink Kosh Patel, I get to be the FBI director.
I would love to see that. Can we put you both in Nepal?
Because I think here's my theory. This is right. Yeah. Let's go. This is my theory. I think that he's a lightweight. I think he drinks, but I think he also can't
hold his liquor.
Say what you will about Pete Hegseth, but at least Pete Hegseth could. No, I'm just kidding. Say nothing about Pete Hegseth. He's horrible.
He's horrible.
I can't believe.
We haven't even gotten to him.
That's the thing. We're now 10 minutes into this segment. We haven't even talked about Whiskey Pete.
Whiskey Pete. Well, I mean, this was in history. There are some examples in history with fascistic regimes that were, everybody was pretty high on a bunch of
people were high. People were high. And
people
again,
were high.
I don't want to I feel like also sometimes we get to be too making fun of the, people who have problems, and we don't want to do
that's
that.
not.
And
this
we don't
is the
want
FBI director,
right? And also, it's not just we can't blame the alcohol on him being shitty at his job. Ulysses Grant drank a quart of whiskey every day for the entire Civil War, and he won the fucking Civil War.
Yeah.
So it ain't the whiskey; it's the person drinking it and the problems that they have. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna make me feel sorry for the booze, Kash Patel.
Yeah, I feel bad. What did Lalo? What did Jack Daniel ever do to you?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do we have any announcements?
Yes.
Oh!
I am going to be in Woodstock on Sunday at the Writers Resist event, which begins at 5:00 p.m. at the Bearsville Theater. I'm told that they will have chairs in the Bearsville Theater, unlike last weekend when I went to see They Might Be Giants and there were no chairs, and I'm too old for that shit. And if you're going to be in a room like that, if there's no mosh pit, why are we even bothering? I know that I'm old and I'm I don't want to just stand there. Play some mosh music and let's mosh. Do you like to mosh? Did you get into a mosh thing ever? You're a deadhead. You didn't mosh anything.
No, there were spinners. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
There was always, you could dance, and then there was always either it was in a place where there was a chair or there was a grassy knoll.
Yep. Grassy knoll.
Yeah.
Oh, there was grass, all right, at the knoll. We know that at the Grateful Dead show. Yeah, there was no mosh pit at the Dead show. I think we can safely say.
There was a lot. I mean, you dance. Talk about people who could play their instruments.
Yeah. And for a long time. It's hard to play. It's hard to play a guitar for hours and hours like that. That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
Yep.
All
right. So that's exciting. So everybody can come see you in Woodstock.
Yeah, and it's not just me. There's a whole list of people that are talking. Jessica Valenti, who writes the Abortion Every Day Substack, which is excellent. She's going to be there. She's, I think, the headliner for the. She's like, if this was Woodstock, she would be like, the last night at 8:00 p.m. kind of thing. Who was that at Woodstock? Wasn't Jimi Hendrix playing?
Jimi Hendrix.
It
might have been like a Janice.
I don't know.
Oh God, so many people.
Woodstock wasn't even at Woodstock. Wasn't even at Woodstock.
Not Joni Mitchell. She never played Woodstock.
No, she just sang about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, hon.
Well, we did miscellaneous, but I don't even know. There's no miscellaneous. I don't think there's any miscellaneous. Is there anything you needed to?
Well, read through our production. This is a crazy show. It's not that we're not prepared. It's that we're not prepared. But it's not that
there's so many things to talk about that we don't know what to talk about.
We did everything that we normally do to try to prepare for this show. And it's like our brains are so fried, we couldn't land on a fifth topic.
Lebanon, Kash Patel. I just wrote Iran ? Well, because that's the thing. There's a lot of war shit going on in Iran right now. Yeah. There's a lot of troop movements, and there's 3 aircraft carrier. I don't know the terminology, but whatever is happening in the Middle East right now. Yes, Jen, we are. Doesn't happen unless we're about to go to war. So it's not looking great, and I hope that is not the case. On the other hand, the nuclear scientist guy that got sort of honeypotted by that O'Keefe guy says that we're not going to nuke anybody. So I took some solace in that. We didn't even talk really about Polymarket that much. Epstein, no. Maxwell, Blanche, she gave some sort of USB drive to somebody. I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, as soon as the midterms are over.
We usually try to find an uplifting topic. That's also the problem with number 5. We had all these things, but it was like, where do we go? We thought about doing the corruption. I do think it's possible to mobilize against a lot of this. I just think what's necessary, even without any leadership helping us, we have no leadership. for the resistance. I just think it's important to think about what we're mobilizing against, and try to, if we have those sort of more easily discernible goals. So there's mobilizing for fighting for democracy, right? Making sure we get the vote out, making sure everybody's registered, whatever they're trying to corrupt in the voting process, so that we can try to have an election that's going to matter and that we can have faith in. That's one direction. I'm just in the, I don't know whether that's going to happen or not. So there's stuff that, what can we do that's beyond the election, no matter what way it goes? What can we do that's beyond all that? And then if it goes in a way that we do gain majority control back, what do we want to tell these people to do?
Yeah, they need to get their shit together.
We're all presuming that they're going to do the stuff that we care so much about, because
they never do.
We're putting so much effort into getting our elected officials in office and to win these elections. But they don't do it. They didn't do it.
No.
Last time they failed. They failed us epically. Mm-hmm. While during the first Trump administration, when they had the power to do some things, and during the Biden administration, when there was a lot of power to make shit go the right way, we were failed. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean I think that was the Biden's presidency was a failed presidency. I don't think that at all. I'm just thinking, for what we're up against right now, that everybody could see coming, mm-hmm. right? And we were warned about, and we were some of the people doing the warning. When that moment was met to actually do something about the corruption, the crimes and the criminality that happened, the pillaging of our democracy by this crime family and their cohorts, mm-hmm. Zero was done. And we cannot allow anybody to think that we're putting them into office to do something like, let's bring us all together, whatever the fuck, anything other than this, right? Yeah. I'm going to be a unified, right? No.
You don't unify with the Nazis.
It's not, but it's not even that. That's not the agenda. That's not the agenda. We'll take care of that. Thank you. We don't need mm-hmm. you to do that for us. We'll take care of it with our friends and our neighbors and whatever, because they can see what a corrupt motherfucker this is. And if they can't, we'll eject them from our social circles. We don't need you to help us bring our families back together. Yeah. That's it, Jen. We ain't trusting no one until we clean house. This is about cleaning house. This is about what we've seen happen when people are able to throw off corrupt regimes in Europe and in other nations. You go in and you expose, you let people know what the fuck was going on, because so much of it's happened in the shadows that we don't even know about. This is where our money went. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This is why Bibi Netanyahu had total control over Trump. Oh, mm-hmm. Good. All right. Let's see that. All right. We need answers. We need clarity. This whole thing that they said, we're going to be transparent. Trump's the most transparent. Why do you think they put that forward? Because they're not. They're in there shredding shit. Right? So we need accountability.
Oh my God. We haven't even talked about the fucking documents that he stole. And volume 2 of the Jack Smith thing. We went all this time. That's one of the most important things. That's second only to the Epstein files. And that's a whole other, we'll talk about that next week.
No, that needs to happen too. The cases that got, are they really dead? Or can we just have
the judges that did these shitty rulings need to be removed. Aileen Cannon needs to be removed and possibly sent back to Colombia at this point. Just goodbye.
Just impeached. Yeah.
Out. So, goodbye. Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So we're back onto that topic, but I don't know that there's any other thing that we should be talking about right now. I know
there's something very important that we need to talk about right now.
Okay.
I need to show you my t-shirt because Sharon Diamond made the t-shirt and it's really cool. So
who did?
Sharon.
Oh my gosh, Sharon.
Yep.
1974 New Orleans Jazz. Nice. Cool? Yeah, it's really cool.
I love it. It's very cool.
That's a cool t-shirt, man.
I know, right? I know. That's all I'm saying. Also,
Yes.
one more thing. Thank you, Sharon, for the t-shirt. One more thing.
Okay.
Tomorrow is the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Oh, that's
Where it's
what we were
gonna
going to
be,
talk about. That.
Hail Caesar! Hail Caesar! Oh, Caesar, you look so handsome today, Caesar. But I think Jimmy Kimmel is organizing and like a Kid Rock halftime special, Super Bowl thing, but alternate programming for that, which is obviously going to be watched a lot more than whatever happens. So
yeah. Well, we're not watching that. So I don't want to.
Knicks are playing tomorrow night. Like, I'm not,
David Ellison. I'm not interested. Like, it's a David Ellison party, is what it is.
So ugly too. It's just like, not to get like,
No,
petty.
don't do it. Yeah.
I'm not going to get petty. All of them though, the incel horde there that we were talking about, they're all like, ugh, gross.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's fine. I'm allowed to call other men that way.
Okay,
fine.
I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's all I got. It's nice. I'm glad we got the neat show.
Yeah, I'm glad we had the neat show. I had a good time with you tonight. I don't have any other words of wisdom or insights or anything like that. Here it is. Greg, I just want to get through this.